Sorry for the wait. Let's get going, Haruki.
How did it go? She got mad, didn't she? It's been half an hour since we parted at the gate. Izumi appeared before me, smiling as if nothing had happened, and took a peek inside my shopping bag, despite my visibly restless expression.
No, she was a good girl. She wasn't one bit unreasonable.
Even her tone's no different from usual. One that's clearly different from the one I had following the stress and fatigue I'd felt after talking to that girl.
She seems to have accepted the reason behind your actions. So I wonder if she'll stop looking for you again.
How in the world did you manage to convince her?
Nothing special, really. I just had a normal conversation with her, you know?
Really? I thought I also had a normal conversation with her back then, though. Was the fact that they're both girls really the key after all? Just as Izumi had said? Or perhaps it was easier to talk to a cool-headed third party over a guy who can't help letting his emotions get to him? Or perhaps casual people like Izumi happen to be the best at dealing with someone as uncompromising as that girl.
Now then, we're a little behind schedule, so let's hurry and get dinner started. So, what kind of treat am I in for tonight?
There's a lot that's left unexplained, but Izumi does look proud of a job well done, that's for sure. Well, I was thinking about curry. It's simple enough that I can make it just fine. Not to mention, she's also lifted off a huge burden that's been weighing on my heart.
Wow, awesome! Leave it to a good friend of mine to immediately know just what my favorite food is.
It's not like I can imagine anything you don't like anyway. She's never been a picky eater at the cafeteria either. A fact that's even more apparent whenever I'm the one paying.
Then, let's get going. Your apartment's around Nishiguchi, right, Haruki?
Izumi? I'm sorry about all that. I didn't mean to drag you into my mess.
It's fine, really. You left it to me because you trusted me, right, Haruki?
I, suppose so? That's how it ended up, that's for sure. But now that I think about it, the description of an odd person who willingly tries to get involved with others' issues like a weirdo appears to be valid for all parties involved today.
Forget about that. Let's just hurry home, yeah? I'll help you with the curry too. I'll help rush you to finish it, help to taste test it, and help you to eat it all up, that is.
I'd appreciate it more if you would do something that actually counts as helping out instead. Despite everything, the steps I'm taking today feel much lighter than last week's, as I begin my short walk back to my apartment, and Izumi walking by my side as if it's the most natural thing in the world.
Wow, just as tidy as I thought it would be.
Then help me preserve that image. Specifically, don't make a mess. In the end, step by step, I brought Izumi to my place. On top of that, I'm now slaving away at these potatoes, carrots, and onions, and putting them in a pot to cook for this surprised guest of mine.
The whole place is so thoroughly cleaned up, too. There's no way I'll be able to find any long strands of hair or stuff like that, huh?
I'm begging you, please, stop acting exactly like I'd imagined you would. Come to think of it, when was the last time I had a girl over? To begin with, the only women who have been in here are Io, this woman in front of me, and that makes 3 in total.
Your photo albums! Let me see your photo albums! I wonder where they could be.
I've already hidden all those embarrassing things at my old place. Needless to say, my mother, who lives a mere 10 minutes away, isn't included in the aforementioned 3.
Aw, you're no fun at all.
Worry not. Once dinner's over, you'll be having a lot less fun. Hey, don't just lay down if you're bored. Come here and help me out.
But, isn't it pretty awkward to use someone else's kitchen?
I'd appreciate it if you could feel the same way about using someone else's bed.
I have no problems with that. A different pillow or whatever doesn't bother me at all.
Considering how comfortable she looked sleeping on the cold floor of the lab, a pillow alone shouldn't make much of a difference. This has been on my mind for a long time now, Izumi. You have no living skills whatsoever, do you?
Sounds about right. I wonder if someone would just take care of me after I graduate.
That's really, my favorite signature move. Lecturing, which I haven't used in quite a while, is completely ineffective against Izumi, who seems to live out her days freely and without care.
Hey, Haruki, why don't you become my patron? Think of the future prospects you'll have.
These future prospects you're suggesting do at least include your graduation, right?
A guitar!
Don't just suddenly ditch a conversation that you started. Is this happy-go-lucky woman really going to be alright? At this rate, I can't see her changing her easygoing lifestyle even after graduation. Oh, before all that, we should focus on whether or not she'll actually graduate. Hey, Izumi, if, against all odds, you actually do manage to graduate from university? Hey, listen to me when I'm talking to you.
Hey, play a little for me later? I want to see how you look playing the guitar.
You've already forgotten the reason you're here, haven't you?
Come on, just a little. I got it. I'll put in my best effort to write in the paper. In exchange, play a little for me when I'm done. Think of it as a reward.
I've given up on playing the guitar.
What? What a waste.
Hardly. It's not like I was ever any good at it, so I'm not really all that attached to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I see.
That's right. Not attached at all. I might have practiced very hard. I might have been very dedicated. But I can't play anymore. Because it's not fun. Because it doesn't make me happy. Because I don't want to remember.
Are you pretending to be lonely? I wonder why.
Ow.
Huh? What's wrong, Haruki?
I cut my finger. Rather deeply, actually. That song. But the word that escaped my mouth had nothing to do with that insignificant fact.
Uh-huh. Todokanai Koi? It's been playing on the school radio every day since last week, remember?
My finger is stained in a deep crimson, yet I feel no pain.
I first heard it during winter, when I was a first year. I fell in love with it immediately.
I see. Because there's another fierce pain spreading throughout my chest.
The vocals and the melody are both great. But I especially like the lyrics. It's not a work of art or anything, but it's really touching, you know? I can sing the whole song, you know?
I rinse my finger with some cold water, washing away the blood. And after licking my wound, the taste of blood slowly spreads in my mouth.
Hey, didn't you graduate from Hojo High, Haruki?
Yeah, that's right. Was my blood always this bitter?
Then you might have actually heard this song live before, right? Apparently, it was only played once around 3 years ago during Hojo High's festival.
I'm pretty sure I haven't.
Is that so?
Yeah, I was always studying. Never was into stuff like that anyway.
Hold on, sis. I didn't get to read this week's big spiritual yet.
Another detour? But Mom and Dad are probably there already.
Oh, come on. It won't take too long. I'm only following 2 series here. It won't take more than 5 minutes.
Jeez.
Why don't you read something too, sis? This month's Lillian is out too.
I haven't read manga since I got into university.
Seriously? You totally forgot to have fun after enrolling. I don't know if you're just super busy or whatever, but you look so depressed every day.
Must be nice to enjoy your youth while it lasts, Takahiro. Considering that you didn't get the recommendation.
Not to mention that intensity of yours. If you kept that up, Kinahara-senpai is gonna dump you for sure.
We're doing just fine. Don't say something like that when you're not involved.
You're really mad, aren't ya?
Forget it. I don't have a brother named Takahiro anymore.
Wait, I'm sorry. But, you know, he hasn't come over or anything after you guys started
We're past that phase already. We can't be ourselves with that many people around, so we only be meeting up at his place.
That's quite the vivid imagery you just gave your little brother.
I'm reading, so be quiet already.
Aren't Mom and Dad waiting for us? Sis? What are we gonna do? Let's at least not fight like this when we're having dinner with the whole family, okay? Didn't you say some pretty mean things too, sis? So, we're even. Okay, I get it. Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot the family rule of the eldest daughter of the Ogaso family comes first no matter what, alright?
Huh?
Well, I was just cracking a joke there.
Kazusa.
Huh?
Huh?
I reflexively grab my cell phone and peek at the display, and see a name that I haven't seen in a while.
It's ringing, you know.
Yeah, my cell phone's been ringing for a while. Of course I know that. But forget about my hands. I can't even move a single muscle in my body. All I can hear is my pounding heart, like ringing in my ears. My forehead, back, and armpits are all scorching hot. Countless beads of cold sweat burst forth in an attempt to cool them.
Hurry and answer it.
As I finally regain control of my fingers, I move them only a few millimeters and, once again, do an awful thing to her. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn off my cell phone even though we're studying.
I feel kinda bad if you're saying you did that because of me.
Still, the awfulness of my action is clear enough that even this person, so close to dozing off right in front of me, has noticed it. And she's gone out of her way to imply just how deplorable I'm being.
Are you trying to hide something from me by any chance? Have you become a playboy to such an extent?
That's not true.
Come on, don't look so depressed. You're making me want to comfort you.
Sorry.
Huh.
The voice message has been received. Thank you for choosing our services.
Sis? Hey, sis?
What?
Here, I bought it. Kyograph.
Yeah, thanks. How much was it?
3,000 yen.
I see. Okay, then, this should just about cover it? What's wrong? Don't you want the money back?
How could a magazine this thin cost 3,000 yen? It was actually a tenth of that, just 300. Don't just blandly hand over money like that.
I see.
You okay, sis? You've been acting a little weird for a while now.
Well,
Was the article really that great? Which one is it? Can I take a look?
You can't.
Whoa, that came out of nowhere.
No, you can't look. The first person I have to show this to is...
Huh?
Sorry for yelling at you like that, but you see,
Forget about it. Let's just go. The two of them are probably getting tired of waiting for us.
you're right. We're already 10 minutes late.
Let's pick up the pace then, sis.
Yeah. Just for today, please don't run away.
You have one new message. First message, December 1st, 7:59 p.m. Good evening. It's Setsuna. Sorry for calling you when you're so busy, but I really need to talk to you today about something. So, Haruki-kun, have you seen this week's Kyograph?
If you haven't, definitely go check it out. And if it's okay with you, please contact me afterwards.
Anytime today would be fine. I'll be up all night. Early morning would be fine too. So, if you find the time, and if it's okay with you, please, let me hear your voice.
By the time I looked at my cell phone again, it was already 3 a.m. I'd taken Izumi to the station, stopped by a convenience store, came back to my apartment, studied a little for tomorrow, took a shower, and as I finally slumped onto my bed, I realized it was already this late. No, I was actually fully aware of that. I had more than enough time to listen to a simple voicemail and give her a reply the entire time. Speaking of which, before we parted ways at the station, Izumi told me to properly give the person from earlier a call back, to which I responded with silence. Kyograph. There's no way Setsuna would know that I figured out what she wanted to talk about just from hearing the magazine's name. Neither would she know that I work part-time at Kaisha, nor that I helped out with this week's issue. We no longer share these little things in our lives that any friend or lover should know about each other. That's why I put this message from Setsuna, one that I hadn't received in a while, a very long while, on repeat. Her voice, vibrant as ever, seeps into my body and sends me into a daze that's both ecstatic and painful. But in a corner of my mind, I'm fully aware that things can't go on like this. That's why I have to respond to her request.
Haruki-kun, it is you, right? Haruki-kun?
Setsuna, Joy, Anise, Relief and regret strike me in unison the moment I hear her voice.
You really called. You let me hear your voice.
Waves of similar emotions pour over from the other side of the phone, further amplifying our complicated feelings. It's been a while. Have you been doing all right? It's really been a while since I last heard Setsuna saying Haruki-kun.
Yeah, I'm fine. But the seminars have been pretty intense lately, so I've been kind of busy.
Yeah, me too. Not just with seminars, but I've had to juggle my part-time job as well. That's why I had to contact you this late. Sorry. It's like an intoxicating melody that tingles the depths of my nose before sending a jolt through the depths of my heart when I hear it.
No, I understand. You're working a lot harder than I am, Haruki-kun. I know that, really.
No, that's not.
That's why just getting in touch is good enough. I should be apologizing too. It was brazen to ask you to call me all of a sudden.
And I don't just mean the moment of ecstasy, but the symptoms of withdrawal that come afterwards as well.
So, I should cut to the chase. It's about the issue of Kyograph that was published today.
Yeah, I read it. Toma sure hasn't changed, right?
I know, right? I knew it was Kazusa the moment I saw the photo. She had already become amazing before we even knew it.
Second place at an international competition, huh? And in Europe at that.
I did a little research on the internet and found out that a whole bunch of world-class pianists placed in that competition before. Kazusa's mom even got first place once.
Which means her mom's probably rubbing it in her face right now. And they'll start a huge argument over it.
That does sound like something Toma Yoko would do. She seems to treat Kazusa completely like a rival.
Yeah, it'd be best if that were the case. Then Toma would have two of her dreams fulfilled at once.
Dreams, huh?
To stand on her own 2 feet with her piano, and to make up with her mom. She's really doing her best out there.
But that one other dream of hers is...
Huh?
Hey, how about a toast? To celebrate Kazusa's success, I mean.
Toast?
Do you have any alcohol in your fridge, Haruki-kun? If not, something like tea or juice will do.
Yeah, I have some beer.
I'll go get some right now. You should go get some ready too, Haruki-kun.
Hey, Setsuna?
Are you ready, Haruki-kun?
My fridge is right in my room. More importantly, take a second to catch your breath, Setsuna.
Yeah. Sorry. Give me a second.
From the other side, I can hear Setsuna's frantic, joyous, and excited breathing. How far back would I need to dive into my memories to remember the last time she sounded this lively, I wonder?
Okay, I'm calm now. All set here, Haruki-kun.
Alright, let's open them. As the sound of the carbonated fizz reverberates through my room, I catch the sound of a cork popping through the receiver. Is that wine you've got there?
It was a year-end gift. That's more of a shochu fan. So, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I wonder about that. The image of Setsuna sticking out her tongue in a cute manner on the other side fills my mind without a hint of awkwardness.
Well then, please take care of the lead for a toast.
Me?
You, Haruki-kun.
I'm see, no. There actually still was an ever so slight hint of awkwardness. After all, my image of Setsuna has always been of someone a little childish, with mischievous eyes and constantly changing expressions, each as brilliant as the sun. Here's to Toma's accomplishments and success.
Way too stiff.
It's your fault for suddenly bringing it up, Setsuna. Oh, enough already. Cheers!
Cheers.
As I lightly tap my cell phone with my beer can, I hear the sharp sound of a glass ringing from the other side. The beer feels cold and stimulating as I down it in one gulp. Sliding down my throat, it fills my entire chest with warmth before finally reaching my stomach.
Congratulations, Kazusa.
Now I hear the sound of applause through the receiver. A sincere cheer for the close friend's success. A sincere act of sharing her joy with another one of her close friends. This genuine symphony from the bottom of her heart, devoid of any mixed feelings, is one that seems ever so distant to me. Setsuna,
I'm happy. I'm so happy. Oh no, I think I'm crying a little.
hey, Setsuna, the truth is, I already knew all about it. I've known all along for 5 days now.
That tastes great. I feel like drinking some more.
Hey, slow down a little, would you? Did you get any better at handling alcohol since entering university, Setsuna? And yet, I didn't tell anyone about it at all. Not even Setsuna. It had nothing to do with company confidentiality either. Especially since it's news that had already been published on the internet. Even though there wasn't a single reason that should have kept me from telling anyone. On the contrary, I couldn't even find myself genuinely celebrating Kazusa's success like Setsuna's doing right now.
I'm totally fine. I've got plenty of practice from the drinking parties with my friends from the seminar.
You go often, huh?
I always just drink oolong tea, so everyone's starting to look down on me.
So, you never got any practice after all.
Who cares? Right, Haruki-kun? This is the happiest I've been since university started.
Even though Kazusa has had 2 of her wishes granted already. Even though she's been doing her best out there in a place beyond my reach. With more success than I ever could have imagined. Even so, I can't bring myself to feel genuinely happy for her. The reason can't be clearer to me, but it's something I can never speak of.
The Kazusa that I love. The Kazusa that you love, Haruki-kun.
Setsuna,
We're not allowed to apologize for anything to each other today, okay? Let's promise until we hang up.
See, I told you a throuple would have solved the problem. Like, we know Haruki would be on board. Setsuna more or less just said she'd be on board. The only question remaining is, Kazusa. She's made me realize something. That each time she showers me with kindness, each time she forgives me,
No matter what happens, I'll always love Kazusa.
it reminds me of how narrow-minded I am for continuing to run away, and just how weak I am for trying only to distance myself.
Even if she comes to hate me, or even loathe me, I just can't bring myself to think otherwise. It might just be a big nuisance for Kazusa, though.
I've been reminded so many times this way of the fact that I have no right to stay by Setsuna's side.
No matter what happens, I'll always love her.
There's Setsuna, the girl who was heartlessly betrayed 3 years ago. The girl who remains boundlessly kind to me. And then there's me, the very person who heartlessly betrayed her 3 years ago. The man who continues to brush away all her kindness. Though we're well aware that the distance between us is steadily increasing, which neither of us wants, we're incapable of changing how we treat one another.
So, if it's a day as happy as today, it's fine if I just keep on talking to you like this, right, Haruki-kun?
Yeah. Hey, Setsuna. Stop being such a good girl. Stop being so kind to me. Don't corner me any further than this. I beg you.
Alright, it's probably about time.
Yeah, we talked for quite a while, didn't we?
Yeah, it's already 5 a.m.
A whole 2 hours. Will you be okay tomorrow? You have classes, right?
I normally go to sleep around this time anyway. You're the one I'm worried about.
Tomorrow's classes start in the afternoon for me anyway.
Really? That's a relief.
But, you know, we had a lot of these long phone calls way back then too, didn't we? Waking up after those was quite tough back then. I'm sorry.
That's enough.
I kind of let the happiness go to my head. Plus, I'm a little drunk. I didn't mean to say something like,
Hey,
I'm sorry,
didn't we agree not to apologize? What are you doing breaking your own promise?
Huh?
So, don't sweat it. I'm not bothered by those kinds of things today. Conversely, I won't be apologizing for anything either.
Haruki-kun.
Good night, Setsuna. I'm glad we talked tonight. I had fun. If nothing else, that alone is the truth.
Haruki-kun.
Yeah,
Good night.
good night.
He scolded me. Katsusa, thank you. And I'm sorry. I ended up using you again.
December 3rd, Friday.
As I said, it's about the chirograph we're releasing this week. You'll help out, won't you, Kirihara?
It's been 2 days. A small article that was meant to only stay between us. Something that's really only meant to be discussed within our little circle.
The woman on this page became quite the topic. The bi-monthly musical magazine department has decided to write a feature on her.
Yeah, I can definitely see why. She sure does stand out.
What a beauty! That silky smooth long black hair over that gorgeous black dress. Not to mention she's barely 20.
And that's not all. There's serious talent behind those looks too. It's been a while since someone shook up the classical music world like this. Before I knew it, the topic had already extended slightly beyond our circle due to it being quite newsworthy for its target audience. The chief editor at Ensemble seems to be on good terms with this woman's mother, with Toma Yoko, and even got permission for an interview pretty easily. Toma Yoko, huh? Hey, I'm pretty sure I saw her on TV when I was a kid. She was the pianist that represented Japan for a time back then, after all. She's mostly only active in Europe nowadays, though, so she's not as famous here as she used to be. But her fans on an international level has skyrocketed. She's already become one of the few Japanese people whose tickets will sell out in any country. The lady who invited me into her home 3 years ago served me what was practically sugared water, and chatted so vibrantly about the school festival with me. even within such typical conversation, the praise that she gets really is something else.
And now her daughter's winning awards at international competitions. What's more, she's certainly got the visuals. There's no way this wouldn't catch people's attention.
Is that so? What are these people saying? How can they sing Kazusa's praises like this while knowing nothing about her, other than what's written in this article? She's just a student studying abroad who happened to produce some results, and who just happens to be the daughter of someone pretty famous. And she just happens to be somewhat of a nice woman.
Normally, their team wouldn't be outsourcing this to an editing company, but since we decided on this so suddenly, not to mention the fact that I came up with the original idea.
So, in short, you went and grabbed work from another department again.
We really shouldn't be criticizing Kitahara-kun then. After all, his superior is such a pro at working across multiple departments. I already got the green light from both the chief editors. There's also more than enough time until the bi-monthly deadline.
The future looks pretty bleak to me, but getting through stuff like this seems to be her specialty. How did it end up like this?
Therefore, Kitahara, I'll have you finish what you started and leave you in charge of this article.
Mari-san's words strike me hard from two opposite directions.
Leave him in charge? But
Kitahara is just a part-timer, isn't he? Leave me in charge of the article means I'll need to take care of both the information gathering and the article writing myself. Or at least, that's what I think. That's way different from my usual responsibilities of making copies, buying things, getting food, picking up manuscripts, fixing layouts, quality checking, and talking to the printing company. Though the latter half of that is already slightly beyond the responsibilities of a part-timer. There's a big difference between my work and that of an actual employee, where you're expected to create something. I never thought a part-time student like myself would ever be given a chance like this.
Any objections?
But if I take on this assignment, I'll need to thoroughly research the interviewee. That means I'll have to look into her history, talk to her acquaintances, and trace her footsteps. Can I really do something like that? I'll do it. Please leave it to me. Even so, I suppose I have no choice but to move forward after all. Even if the means I'm using to achieve the goal would actually end up in hindering said goal, it's a signpost that's bringing me closer to my future. I'm sure of it.
In that case, let's head over to the chief editor right now. Come with me, Kitahara.
Hey, hold on a second, Mari-san. I want to do something like that too. All I do around here is run errands for Hamada-san anyway. He's simply a better errand boy than you. Whenever I sent Kitahara out there to buy something, he never took over an hour, you know? Well, that office you asked for was actually only available in Chiba and Saitama. Is that so? So, I was just hallucinating all those times I saw you reading in some convenience store, huh? After all, you were making an expedition to Chiba. Kizaki-san, you traitor!
Those little things can add up over time and really hit you where they hurt, huh? Well, that's one thing. But I have another reason to give this job to Kitahara.
Another reason? So, that actually was one of the reasons.
I suppose you're aware of what I'm implying, Kitahara, but...
Yeah, well, of course I've realized it. Mari-san wouldn't give me such an amazing opportunity just because I'm a little better than some of the others. She knows that letting me handle it has a certain advantages. Basically, she's already done her research, and that's why she picked me specifically.
That's why you'll begin with the school she attended back when she was in Japan. You know what to do after that, right, Kitahara?
Yeah, I understand. I've built up a lot of trust with the teachers in the past, so I believe there won't be any problems getting their permission. The interviewee in question is Toma Kazusa. She came in second at the Trustee International Piano Competition. She's the daughter of the world-class pianist Toma Yoko, and she's been living together with her mother in Vienna for the past 3 years. And before studying abroad, she got her education at... She used to be my schoolmate.
Ah, I see what's going on.
What do you mean? If you couldn't even catch on to that, then it's more than obvious that you're not the right person for this job. Well, we didn't really talk much back then. She was at the top of the music program after all. The little lie at the very end is the only armor left, still protecting the depths of my heart. Thanks for watching. Please push all the buttons that make the algorithm happy. At least Haruki and Setsuna are talking to each other now. Communicating is the first step to sorting out this mess of a relationship. If they get back together or break up and move on, it would be better than the limbo they have been in for the last 3 years. Granted, this is fairly early in the VN for them to sort things out, so something's probably going to happen to set them back again. But progress has been made, at least for now.